It can take years, even a lifetime, to build a solid reputation. But in the world we live in now, it can be destroyed in seconds. A single nasty post, a fake review, a story that just isn't true, and boom, everything you've worked for is suddenly hanging by a thread. So we're going to break down how this happens, and more importantly, what on earth you can do about it.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Could one post going viral completely upend your life? It's a scary thought, right? One minute, everything's fine. The next, your name, your business, is getting dragged through the mud online, spreading way faster than you could ever hope to control. And wow, this just nails the feeling, doesn't it? It's a total gut punch. This quote actually comes from a real case that involved a small farm shop, and it just perfectly captures that personal, almost visceral horror of watching your life's work get torn apart online by someone with a grudge. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with how the viral nightmare begins, then dig into why online attacks hurt so much more. We'll look at some real-world damage, and then, this is the important part, we'll walk through exactly how you can fight back, unmask the trolls, and start reclaiming your reputation. All right, first up, let's get into why an attack online is a completely different animal. This isn't just your average gossip. No, this is a full-blown digital wildfire. So here's the absolute key. We are talking about false statements that cause actual harm. This isn't about someone having an opinion you don't like. This is about them telling a lie that can cost you your job, your customers, or your peace of mind. And this slide right here, this shows you why it's so much worse today. Back in the day, a lie traveled slow, maybe by word of mouth. Today, it goes global in the blink of an eye, and that lie can stay on the internet forever. But the real kicker, the person who started it all can just hide behind a fake username, making them feel untouchable. I mean, listen to this. This quote from a victim just perfectly captures the psychological damage. It's not just a problem out there on the internet. It invades your home, your safe space. It feels like you're trapped with it, and there's absolutely no escape.
Okay, so let's move from the what to the who. Let's look at how this actually plays out in the real world. Because these aren't just ideas. They have devastating and very real consequences for actual people. So, take the solicitor. The relative of a former client just decided to start spreading these horrible false claims of fraud all over Facebook and Trustpilot. And the impact? It was instant. Clients started bailing, major business partnerships were put on ice, and the morale of his entire staff just tanked. Or how about this one? A dentist in Manchester. He makes a single comment outside a nightclub that gets totally misunderstood. Next thing he knows, it's twisted into an accusation of harassment in an Instagram story that goes viral. His career was almost destroyed before he even had a chance to figure out what was happening. And this next one, this one is just horrifying. A family who shared these really cool educational photos of their child with their pet python, they found out someone stole those images. They wove them into a completely fabricated viral news story accusing them of child endangerment. This didn't just hurt their job prospects, it literally put their family's safety at risk. Now, hearing those stories, it's easy to feel completely powerless, hopeless even. But this is the most important part of our whole explainer. You are not powerless. Now we talk about how to fight back. And I really want you to hear this. Even though it feels totally overwhelming, there is a way forward. There are strategic, effective things you can do to take back control of the story and your good name. So what do you do first, the moment it happens? 1. Preserve absolutely everything. Screenshot the posts, the nasty comments, the fake profiles, all of it. 2. Report it to the platform, whether it's Facebook or X or Google reviews. And 3, and this is crucial, get expert legal advice right away. Now, one of the biggest problems is that these attacks often come from anonymous accounts, right? So how do you fight a ghost? Well, you use a very powerful legal toolkit that's designed to unmask them. Here in the UK, one of your best weapons is something called a Norwich Pharmacal Order, or NPO. Basically, it's a court order that legally forces a platform, think Instagram, Twitter, you name it, to hand over information that can identify that anonymous user, like their IP address or email. And since so many of these tech giants like Meta are based in California, another really powerful route is a US subpoena. This is where you file a legal action directly in the US to make them release that user's info. For US-based companies, it's often a pretty predictable and effective process. And then there's OSINT, which stands for Open Source Intelligence. This is basically high-tech detective work. Investigators use publicly available data, digital footprints, and some very clever tools to figure out who is really behind that anonymous account. And you often don't even need a court order. It's fast, it's discreet, and it is incredibly effective. Okay, so you've got these 3 powerful tools. Which one's right for you? Well, the UK-based NPO is fantastic for complicated cases here at home. A US subpoena is your go-to when you're dealing with big American platforms like Facebook or Instagram. And OSINT? That's perfect when you need answers fast, you need to be discreet, or you want to gather a ton of evidence before you even think about court. So, once you've identified your attacker and you've taken the steps to shut down the lies, the final and most rewarding step begins, taking back and rebuilding your reputation. Look, this is not something you should try to do on your own. This world where technology, international law, and reputation all collide is incredibly complicated. Specialist internet law firms like Cohen Davis solicitors, for example, have spent decades focused only on this stuff. That gives them the unique know-how to handle the whole shebang, from the initial investigation right up to international court orders. So let's boil it all down. What do you absolutely need to remember? First, act fast. In the UK, you have a strict 12-month window to file a defamation claim. Second, preserve everything. Third, know that you have powerful legal tools on your side. And maybe most importantly, you do not have to go through this alone. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Don't wait until you're in the middle of a crisis. What's the very first step you would take right now to start protecting your online reputation? Because at the end of the day, your reputation is one of the most valuable things you own. It's yours to defend, so take action. If this explainer helped you see how you can do that, please give it a like and subscribe for more insights that really matter.